What's up, everybody? Cody here with Eric.
Hey guys.
We are on the home stretch of this Triumph. We got a few things left to do to it. The owner kind of neglected it, and we're just kind of getting back on the road. So, anyways, we're almost there. We want to talk about a few things going on in the industry right now, since this is Eye on Industry. Let's talk about some industry stuff in the motorcycle world, Eric.
Let's do that. I tell you what, there's a lot of misinformation and stuff out there, and at our level, the consumer level, it's difficult to get a good perspective on it. But let's talk about Indian, shall we?
Yeah, let's talk about Indian with them being bought out, what the future holds, and what we think about it.
So there's lots of gloom and doom on that, but here's what I think. Some may or may not remember Ducati did something that was similar to the Texas Pacific Group.
Right.
And it was purely to acquire capital to where they could expand lines of motorcycles and could have enough operating capital to produce more units. That's what it was about. But there was lots of gloom and doom at the time. Ducati's going to go out of business or something like that. I think Indian has done a strategic, it turned out to be kind of a buyout, but I think it's a strategic way of taking a little bit of stress off of Polaris's plate and allowing the brand to grow is what I think.
Definitely. And it's who bought them out that I like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you think about it, that guy at one time was in charge of Harley Davidson when Harley Davidson was selling motorcycles like they were cotton candy at the fair. I mean, they were selling just a crap ton of bikes, and at that
Sure.
time, he was the one of the lead people for Harley Davidson.
Yeah, and it's got to be much better than Harley Davidson's last guy. So.
It's got, yeah. I mean, and this guy actually rides a motorcycle too. He doesn't just sit behind a desk. He actually rides.
Yeah, I think it's a positive. I think it's a positive thing that's happening to Indian, but also, I think that Indian had come to a point to where they had to find a way to expand, and I think that the cost was a little much for Polaris on their plate with everything that they do from watercraft and everything else.
Yeah, I don't think the Indian was a big money market for them with what they do. I think the side by sides is where they made more of their money at.
I'm positive that the side by side
And
market.
the ATVs, and maybe they reached their plateau of like where they thought they can take the company and figured, you know what, let's sell to somebody that knows what they're doing and take it even further and keep the name going.
Yeah, and they still have some control over the product itself.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't sell out lock, stock, and barrel, so they still have some control over it. I will say this: I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in their pulling out of dirt track racing, just because it's a little closer to my heart than road racing dressers. But having said that, though, that series, they wouldn't put so much money into that development and into that team if it wasn't bringing in technology and if it wasn't bringing in sales.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the highest selling bikes that Indian owns is that Challenger.
I'd like to see them, I'd like to see them bring back the FTR, and everybody's already out there pounding on their keyboards about its power plant. Well, I really think they could have kept the styling of the FTR, and they could have used the Scout power plant in that chassis or a version of that chassis.
I want them to release a adventure bike. That's what I like to see.
I would love to see Indian's version of an adventure bike.
Mm-hmm.
I think they tried to do that a little bit with the FTR, the street version, not the race version, but the street version. And I think its range was a little limited for that, and its physical size was a little limited for that. So I'd like to see them come up with an adventure tour platform for sure.
It's one of the hot items right now. I mean, that's one of BMW's highest selling bikes is their adventure bikes, and then Triumph.
Yeah,
It's one of the highest selling bikes. Literally, almost every company now, even Moto Guzzi has an adventure bike. And if you haven't rode the Moto Guzzi V85, I encourage you to go ride one. It's a great adventure bike for out the door price. It's an amazing bike.
yeah, and you know, a lot of people think that adventure tour is new to some of these companies, even like Moto Guzzi. But Moto Guzzi has had adventure tour bikes for decades, going back all the way into like the 80s and the 90s, and
Yeah, the
you know,
Stelvio and stuff. Yeah.
and you know, Cagiva and Ducati both had them all the way back into like the 80s, and you know, BMW pretty much kind of pioneered the adventure tour thing with their GS, but there is a huge market there that I believe Indian could possibly
into.
get into and tap into it. And one thing I'm going to say, and it's just my personal opinion, but I'd like to see some improvement on some of their styling.
Yeah, I will go on a leash, and this may offend some people, but I don't care. When Indian came back, when Polaris bought the name, brought it back, and they had the Chieftain and stuff, they had the traditional styling from the Indians from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, right? And then the last 7 years, they've kind of gone away from the traditional styling, and they've really catered more towards the Harley styling. And now Harley has swapped, and now they're following the Indian styling to an extent. So I would like to see some improvements with that market. I would like to see them redo the Challenger. There hasn't been any changes done in the Challenger since it came out in 2019. It's been the same bike, so they're definitely due for a change. There's 7 years now, the same design. FTR, sad to see it go, but sometimes motorcycles disappear and they're gone for a couple of years and they come back better than they were before. And maybe that will be because Indian had a sell. I see FTRs all the time on the road, and it's a fun bike to ride.
It is.
I don't know why people complain about the engine. I mean, you can only have so much horsepower. You can only do so much. I mean, you got these super bikes with 200 plus horsepower. Where are you going to use it at without going to jail?
My issue with, I have no issue with big power. That's all fine. But let's be honest, when it comes to riding the motorcycle day to day, street light to street light, even if you're out on the highway, you're going to use torque more than you're going to use horsepower.
Yep.
And a lot of times I would rather have a bike that I would sacrifice top RPM horsepower for torque any day of the week.
We got to pull this back off. Check valve is leaking.
Oh yeah, it's another deal from them setting for a long time. Every rubber piece in it will leak. And the only way you're going to know is to put it together, put fuel in it, see what happens, and then chase down that rabbit hole.
Yep. But anyways, yeah. So we're actually both excited for the future of Indian. What's going to come and see. The next 2 years will say a lot about the future of the company, where it's going to go. Just gotta be patient and see what happens. There's no point in getting mad about something because, let's be honest, we have no say-so in what happens to the company. We're little peons in their world, just like people get mad about the government. You can't change it. Why are you getting mad about something you can't change?
Yeah, and just spreading negative rumors is not going to help that fact of that matter at all. But in all honesty, I think that the sale of Indian was a good thing for Indian. I think that it's going to allow them to produce their numbers because, you know, there's a lot of dealers that, according to information that you get, like in a lot of the dealer press, that they were having difficulties acquiring enough motorcycles for their sales. Like they could sell, if they had access to more motorcycles, they could sell more motorcycles. So I hope it's a good thing. I'd like to watch it closely and see where it goes from there. Another marquee that is coming back to the United States, supposedly,
It was Norton.
allegedly, is Norton.
Norton. Yeah, we're kind of excited for that. We got a few classic Nortons in here, so we're kind of excited for that.
You know, there was the Kenny Dreer Norton, which was a fantastic motorcycle. That had another company that had some production issues because of operating capital was Kenny Dreer. There's sort of some top secret things that went on with acquiring Norton, and apparently part of the technology that was Kenny Dreer is in some of these new Nortons. I've seen a lot of stuff out of Europe with them, and I've seen some low production numbers at Europe. And any of you that keep up with Isle of Man, they had some display stuff there at Isle of Man, which was
Beautiful
promising.
machines.
And they
Real
had
pretty.
some display at Milan at that International Motorcycle Show. It was really cool. And now they're saying that the opportunity to come back to the United States is there, and they're already putting out feelers to see where they could start dealer networks and stuff here. So again, I'm kind of happy about that. I'd really like to see Norton come back. I kind of like Nortons, and I think
I've
they're
always
kind of a
liked
neat.
Nortons. Thought they were neat bikes.
Next thing let's cover is let's talk about this. Purchasing new motorcycles.
Let's end this one, and then we'll start another one on the motorcycle purchase.
Yeah, we got some stuff we'd like to talk about, and
I'll try.
how a lot of stuff is being misused, and how some of the information is misconstrued about buying motorcycles and financing motorcycles. So let's touch on something on that.
Yeah, we're trying to keep these videos under 13 or 14 minutes, and we're right at that mark. So
We ramble.
thanks for hanging out with us with the Indian and Norton discussion. We're excited about Norton for sure. So stay tuned for the next video. It's going to be interesting. Until next time, ride safe.